Today the story of World War is July 2025. Inside the ghost museums of Ukraine, exhibits replaced by fragments of war and occupation. Charlotte Higgins in Izium and Sviatohorsk. Ghost museums of Ukraine, preserving culture amid destruction. In eastern Ukraine, near the shifting front lines of an ongoing war, history is not only being made, it is being buried, bombed, and in rare cases, bravely preserved. Cities like Izium and Sviatohorsk, once home to proud museums, libraries, and religious sites, have been transformed into battlegrounds. Yet within the ruins, a quiet resistance is underway, not through weapons, but through memory, culture, and the will to protect a nation's soul. In Izium, a small historical museum became both a casualty and a symbol. Once housing over 17,000 artifacts, the museum suffered direct missile strikes and occupation during Russia's 2022 invasion. The damage was immense, exhibits destroyed, rooms flooded, ceilings collapsed. Yet miraculously, its most treasured possession, a rare 18th century gospel, survived. Staff had risked their lives to hide it, safeguarding centuries of heritage with nothing but faith and determination. Today, the museum continues to operate, exhibiting what remains, sharing the story of both its own survival and that of Ukraine itself. Nearby, in the spiritual city of Sviatohorsk, the impact of war is similarly etched into its cultural heart. The Sviatohorsk Lavra, a historic Orthodox monastery complex, has long drawn pilgrims and scholars alike. But with war came shelling. Buildings were scarred. Graves were desecrated. The museum that once told the story of the Lavra's religious life now contains something very different. Fragments of Russian uniforms, twisted pieces of bombs, ration packs, and shrapnel. It has become a museum of occupation. And yet, the transformation is not merely tragic, it is purposeful. These objects have become witnesses. They offer tangible proof of what happened, standing in defiance of attempts to erase Ukrainian identity. Curators now act as guardians of trauma, storytellers of resilience. They organize walking tours among damaged buildings and explain to visitors how the cultural erasure is not accidental, it is targeted. Across Ukraine, over 1,600 cultural sites have been damaged or destroyed since the war began. But these efforts to preserve memory, even in the darkest places, are quietly defying that destruction. Many museum workers, artists, and historians have joined the resistance, either digitally archiving heritage through global efforts like Sucho, saving Ukrainian cultural heritage online, or creating new spaces for art and remembrance in bombed-out towns. What's happening in Ukraine is more than a military conflict. It is a war over identity, history, and truth. And as bombs fall, culture rises, not as a relic of the past, but as a force for the future. The museums of Izium and Sviatohorsk are not just museums anymore. They are living memorials of lives lost, of communities broken, but also of endurance. In every shard of glass, every singed painting, and every salvaged relic, Ukraine is telling the world, we are still here,